Hello and welcome to CheapSkate. My name is Cameron. This is part 2 of our 3 parts of the Great Guitar Build-Off 22 competition, where we're building an electro nylon string acoustic. In today's episode we are steam bending the sides. I'm going to do that right now on the video, you'll see that, and using a steam box. I'm not going to go into too much detail on anything because I've got 72 video clips I'm compressing into this video, and I culled that out of hundreds, well, a couple hundred. So I'm going to do a separate video that will be about steam bending, how to steam bend, and showing me different types of timbers with some of them snapping, all that, tests and things like that. So that'll come up as a separate video later on, and then we'll have part 3 coming out pretty soon because the competition finishes the end of this month. So it's action-packed. We're going to finish off the body in this episode, and the next episode, part 3, we'll put the neck on the body and finish the whole guitar. Alright, catch you later. Just to give you an idea of the process I'm using, warmed up the steamer for about 15 minutes so that all the timber inside, the timber racking I've got and the end pieces are hot and full of water, so there's no more, they're not going to soak up any more heat, they're already hot. I've got my timber soaking in water in this tube with a bit of fabric softener. So I'll put our first piece in. Flat sawn maple. It's been in the steamer for 15 minutes, and I really want this to work because if this works I will be using it. So the quarter sawn maple bend really well. So fingers crossed this flat sawn maple will bend well. I don't have any pieces big enough to do a quarter sawn one again. I have to buy more maple, so I'm hoping this will work and I won't have to buy any more. I've put masking tape around the base of these now so that they're much tighter fit, so they won't sort of lean over at all when yeah, so that should help keep it looking good. My dog's going berserk. Feels okay. Feels a bit like it might break at this point right here, but so far we're doing okay. I might not put that in just yet. I might actually get this one in. Okay. It's going to be harder to get in now because it's got the masking tape on the bottom, but okay. These ones around this bend has to be tighter. Here we go. Okay. Okay, it's looking alright. Keep it tight and bend it back this way. Okay. I don't believe it, but I think it's actually going to work. Well, first off, I'm really happy because there are absolutely no cracks at all. I have made a big mistake though, which I've just now realised. This is the inside surface and I've put it on the outside. When I say that, you can see here it's a bit rough. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. This is the sort of roughly sanded side, whereas my really smooth side that I sanded because I wanted it to be the exterior is now on the interior. So you probably actually can see the timber looks nicer on the interior than it does on the exterior because it's properly sanded on the interior. Something that's really crucial in steam bending is time. That being, we don't have much. So preparation is really important, and running through it, like I haven't done this side before, it's going to be the first time doing this side. So I've role-played it in my head exactly how I'm going to put them in, the order I've got to do it in, how it's all going to be done. It'll still probably go wrong a little bit, but at least hopefully it won't be a disaster. Hopefully you got a good view from that side. I've put an X on the timber denoting which side goes internal so that my nicely sanded external surface, I've got to remember to check that, so I'm saying it to you now so that I don't forget. Here we go. internal surface. Down. Hard clamp. And first bend. Oh, it's pushing it. That's done it. Second bend. Shit, I forgot to clamp down this whole thing. Oh god, that's a big bend. Come on, baby, come on. You can do it. Come on, come on, come on. You did it. Stay down, stay down. Down. Let's lift it a little bit. Bend the other way. Shit, I'm wasting time here. Shouldn't have wasted that time. Other way. Oh, it's pushing it. It's pushing it. Okay. Back the other way again. Amazing that it went round that bend. Okay. Get ready to put this in place if it makes it. And it did. That's incredible. It never ceases to amaze me how well this timber bends when it works. Okay, now, the bit I knocked off the table. This is not so important to be fast now because it's just the last little bit and it's already bent to shape, so I guess we want to make sure it's still pushed down. We've got a crack there, I can see, okay. Okay. It's clamped in. It went pretty well. This is a very tight bend and it looks really good. I cannot see any cracking there at all, so I'm very happy with that bend. As you can see here, hopefully you can see, we've lifted off the table a little bit. So it's slightly off the table here, which is probably because this thing's leaning over a little bit. And then it lifts here. So that's a good maybe 2 millimeters, you can see here, which is a fair bit of sanding, which I don't really want to do, so we'll maybe remedy that. But anyway, we've got a crack here. Now that crack might actually be slightly increasing, so I'm going to get a clamp on that straight away. Flat. Just it's all going to run out at once. No, good. So from about here. At all at the moment. No, it's getting lower. I finished scraping the top. I'm not very good at sharpening the card scrapers. It's a bit of an art form. I got a little bit better at it, but it still took ages because it wasn't really getting shavy. It was just kind of getting powder. So anyway, that's that surface. As you can probably see, this one here really stands out, the join, simply because it's a different colour. I just couldn't do much about that. The other ones match pretty well, though. I mean, some of these lines you probably wouldn't even notice. Like that one too, maybe. I think they're hard to see. Rear internal block, take one. Or take two if you like. Might just
sort of stuff without really trying to... I'm not going to use an accelerator because I don't want to glue it in the wrong spot. I've got to line up the center maple stripe. That should probably be enough, just doing that. So the glue I use is from Glue Boost. It's not an ad, they don't sponsor me or anything like that. I'm sure there's other good brands of very thin super glue. I just happen to know about this one, and it's the one I use. In case you're looking for one and you can't find one. Put these in place, and we'll just run a bit of glue on the side here and on this side. I'm not going to let that run down too much because I don't want it to glue to this. Zap that straight away to try and get them in place, and then hopefully when I glue the other side this will be held in place and I can put a heap of glue in there. Let's put some glue on here. Don't really need any right in the middle, but I might put glue on there anyway. I might just put glue on the whole surface, not try and get it too thick so we don't get too much run out and squeeze out, but just make sure the whole thing's covered. So wherever the blocks touch, we get at least a bit of glue on there. Because I know we can say, well, the centre's going to be clear, but it might not be completely clear, depending on where the timber sits on the block. So it's not an exact science at this point. Now I don't want any glue on the top or on the bottom because we don't want to change the level. Get all the glue off the bottom. Put this roughly in place. Get rid of my tape because I don't need it right now. Put that there. Okay, so we've got one clamp coming from this side. I don't know if you can see underneath there. I'm just trying to show you that underneath there. I don't know how much light there is, but we don't really have much of a problem. That looks pretty good. Just wipe off any excess glue that's coming out of there, and I'll put my paper down. I don't think I've even got much glue on the bench here yet, so we'll just, I think it's just one speck. So we'll put our grease-proof paper down, our baking paper. Give that a bit of a wipe just in case there's any glue on there. If I can avoid getting any glue at all on that bottom, that'll be great. There will be, because this is rounded and this is
semi-rounded. There'll be gaps and everything, so I'm going to use super glue to put it in place, and then once that's dried I'll use spray as well. Then I'll use wood glue to strengthen it. So I'll get a bit. It's not much point in putting actually too much in the middle because that's not going to touch at the moment. It's mainly these sides here. So just make sure we've got that in the right spot. Yep. Looks alright. I mean, it's obviously got to be sanded and all. Right, so right now you can probably see the gap's not really visible because I filled it with sawdust. So I use my really thin super glue on here. If it comes out, yeah. Oop, now I've got to go pick up my kids, that's my alarm. But anyway, we'll put some glue on here. And I will just wipe the edge with some paper. So that we don't get too much bulk on here, although it's pretty thin, so it's going to thin out pretty well, but I'll get that. So I planned it out. I put this little one here to get pressure in a smaller space, then I increase the weight on it. Stand up. Oh, well. There you go. We'll just remove these using my patented magical method. Ready? Okay, sure. Oh, I'll turn it that way, there's a bit of light you can see there.
put our neck on. It goes in position like it's supposed to. Yep, that's it. And then we put our top on. Get that out of the way. Why isn't it going on, folks? Oh, because I started it. Okay, there we go. I think that's in the right spot. That's about right. That's about where it's going to go. So there you go. Bit of an unusual sound hole. It's an exact copy, replica of all the top brands. They all do this now. Time to glue in a pair of weight blocks. I've got here and here. These are spotted gum. Spotted gum is heavy, and the idea is that they make the bottom of the guitar heavy so it don't get neck dive, and so it sits on your leg really well. Yes, I've done some test clamping, and I needed to put this bit of timber here on the side for this one, just so it's got a flat surface to clamp onto. I'm not going to explain it, but if you've done any woodworking, you'll know all about it. And all I need to do is actually put glue on the end and then glue around here. So we'll glue this one in first. Because red cuts. Really? Okay. On there and there. And this one goes in here. Like that. Yeah, that's it. I think that'll be the perfect spot. That looks good. Journey instruments, this is what I've got. I've got the EP001K model. I don't need any of that stuff. All I need is the transducers here and the sender unit. I don't know what you call it. It has got a little circuit board in here. Whoops, where's the camera there? So it's got a little circuit board on the end of it there. Anyway, I've got to take that off. So stick that in the hole we prepared earlier, like so. Slot here, I'm really happy with it, so I can slide this in. It's round at this end because the router bit's obviously round. Now I could easily square it up with chisel and all that and leave it square, but you know, it'd be more interesting if this stayed round, I think anyway. So I'm just going to round this end off and try and match that shape in there. We can do it the rest of the way just with the sandpaper. But I think the round here going into a square with a square outlet just adds more interest to it. Yeah. I just knocked one of my pins, so now I'm not sure if they're all going to be in the right order I had them in, but anyway, we'll see. Line up the pins. Okay, so I'm already getting squeeze out. Alright, so I'm going to try and wipe up a lot of that squeeze out before I go much further. Get these pins right in. So I'm going to cut these pins after it dries, just going with the chisel and knock them through, but I still want to get them sitting below the level of this so that when I put this on top, So you just clamp it down, that's good. Nothing sticking above, alright. Pin am I? I think I'm fitting right between two pins. I've got a clamp that will reach. I don't think I have anything else that has that much reach is the problem. Will not get in there. Wow, man. I mean, the water just won't get in there. It just won't get the glue on the edge. Can't touch it. Can't touch this. Time to drill these peg holes, string holes. Right. Strings over it, but for now. Oh, that's not bad. That'll clean up. I'm just going to hit that with a bit of sandpaper. It's not hasn't torn chunks off or anything. It's just really pushed out what was over the hole. Because this timber does tend to rip with masking tape. It does tear bits off. Just hope this doesn't tear off too much timber. You can see a little bit of timber in the tape there. It's not too bad. It's the only thing when you're rubbing stuff down like that, you've got to be careful. It does pull some of your timber up, and if you had a nice smooth surface, you kind of don't anymore after you've used tape. Found the bar, and I've just put some masking tape on to make sure I don't lose it again. Alright, now let's do the other hole here. I'll start to look about the same size as well. So how are we looking with our blue mark? Our blue mark is almost at the right depth, I think. Cutting quite easily. My hand in the way. Okay. And then we'll drill through the middle of it. I'm tilting this slightly towards the ground because this is tilting. Plenty of glue so I can soak into the timber. Make sure I've got no glue on the top of my finger, so I don't glue my finger onto it when I do this. I want this to go between the strings. Hey, you will, because I want it to stay in position. Okay, that's that one. Hello and welcome to the glue up. I'm going to plug this in, the transducers, which you can see mounted inside here. I'm going to plug those in straight away, because once this guitar is assembled, I can't get into it again. If I ever have to service this guitar, I'm actually probably going to have to cut a hole in the back and make a hatch. Anyway, so I'm going to plug that in right now, so I can't possibly forget to plug it in. Plugged in. Plugged in, yes. Get this in place now. I have to start up here a little bit high and then bring it into position. I think it's around about in position, so I'll drop it down. That one looks pretty good. I don't think I'll leave much of there. So I reckon I can remove this neck now. Add it. If we can get this one here tight, I reckon that'll help a lot. This one fits in easy. It's because the height keeps changing. Because I didn't do a very good job of being a uniform height for everything. Okay. Actually, just check that hasn't opened anything else up. No, that's fine. Alright. So, I guess we'll leave that here for probably 24 hours. Now we need to just do what we did on the other side, which is just sand it up to the edge and continue from there. Don't know if you can see them, but this is the little lines. This is the side that I put the wrong way round when I did the steam bending, up the steam bending. Definitely paying a price for that now, trying to sand the whole lot down to get rid of those marks. The other side was easy to sand.